Claudia, thank you for accepting to be part of this BAM Connect Stories podcast. Please tell us something about you, about your family, and also about your business in Craiova.
I'm Claudia Cochină. I was born and raised in Craiova. I have two children, 14 and 18, Sara and Stefan. I run two businesses in Craiova. I've started 12 years ago a language center called Fly High. And my vision for this particular project was that children learn joyfully and prepare themselves for life. So that's one of the projects. And the most recent business is Inspira International School. This is a private school accredited by Cambridge International. And it only started last year in September 2022.
Can you tell us something about your mission?
It was really late that I discovered that I was doing business as mission. I've always loved languages, and I have worked with children. And somehow I ended up coming back to my hometown and do exactly this. So I guess my mission is to invest in the children and young people of Craiova. So, and my mission takes this form of educational projects that are, I would say, different and innovative and focused on the children. At Inspira, we're still working out to put the mission and vision together. And both projects started with a passion for children, and I think they both respond to the need for different educational services in our community. They cannot be that different. We're still focusing on children, believing that everyone is unique, and trying to help each of them grow and also journey with them, because we do think education is a journey with ups and downs, and as teachers and mentors we just need to guide the students in this journey and to be there for them.
Tell us something about your customers, eventually about the kids and the parents.
Our business is interesting. Our direct customers are the children, but they are not the decision makers, right? Their parents are. So all our contracts are with the parents. We have a large category of children and young people that we work with. We started working in Fly High with students age 3 or 4, and we help them learn English or German all the way to high school. It's actually quite, because we've had Fly High for 12 years, we have students that started with us when they were in kindergarten and now they are in high school. So it's very rewarding to see how long they stay with us, and they basically grew up in Fly High. And children are fascinating, and it's different from one age category to another. We focus on teens as well. So we like all ages, and we've worked with all ages. In terms of parents as customers, I would say that we work with parents that value education in general, and open-minded parents that want to access a different type of education, parents that are open to new ideas, with a different mindset towards education, looking for other models.
Do you have a particular story to tell us?
We just had a meeting with mothers for Mother's Day the other day. One of them reminded us when her child started with us, and he was really problematic. Like, he had a hard time integrating and connecting with other kids. He was at the time some sort of a bully. He would give the teachers quite a hard time. And the other day, the mom was telling how fine he is, and if there's any activity that he can skip, it's not fly high. So whatever his schedule looks like, he wants to make sure he goes to fly high no matter what. And he's a more mature teenager now, and appreciates our environment. I think we've been able to create a really friendly environment for children to learn in, and that allows them to feel safe and confident in who they are, and learn as a consequence of that, and learn well. We have some students that are now studying in the UK. Luca comes to my mind, and he was here for the holidays, and he actually shared with our community how much the way he learned in Fly High helped him adapt to the studies and the way they learn and study in the UK.
Can you tell us about the teachers from the school and other stuff?
The first thing that comes to my mind is they are the most wonderful people. I am really blessed and grateful for all the people that are and have been in my team. And I don't think I would have been able to build anything without dedicated and really talented people. We have all kinds of ages, all kinds of backgrounds. Some of them are believers, some of them are not. I think we've been able over the years to retain people that think the same way we think and value our culture, our organizational culture. Both businesses are value-based environments, and businesses, we know exactly what we want to promote and live out among ourselves, but also for the children. So over the years, the people that stayed with us were the people that identified with our values, and the people that evolved within our organization. We recently just had another training where we explored the talents, the strengths that we have. And again, it was one of those exercises where you see how different we are, and you see the value and richness in each of them. They either went to pedagogical school or they went to the Faculty of Letters. We have two American teachers. They came as volunteers. Fortunately, they are both believers. Casey has been with us now for 4 years already.
Can you tell us something about your values as an organization?
We have 6 values in Fly High in Spira, because it's the first year we're still working on it. But we do have passion, fun, team spirit, growth, innovation, and high quality. But what we did, we translated those values into behaviors that are lived out by everybody in the organization. And somehow the way we defined the values, the process, it was basically just thinking of what we do, how we do it, and the values just popped up, which was a good thing. It basically got the essence of our organization. And there have been talks whether we should revise them, but at the end of the day, yeah, this is who we are. In our activities, we teach meaningful things to students. We organize events where they learn or find out or experience a particular value. So I'm really careful about that when we design the educational programs. And we try to stay relevant for the children, but we also want them to learn something from these experiences. And I'm just giving you a simple example. Like, we never celebrate Halloween per se, but we make sure that we have like a autumn carnival where there is still fun and sweets. I really want to make sure that real Christian values are somehow lived out, although they are not, explicit. I make sure there's learnings and meaningfulness in everything that we do.
Are there any other group of people that you serve in your community?
Ever since I returned to Craiova, I had this heart for less fortunate, let's say, children. And actually, my initial project, the NGO, Close to Youth, focused on helping students with less possibilities. So since 2008, 2009, we've been investing occasionally in groups of students in the rural areas, especially, or poor areas. And our projects are different, whether it was a story reading in a kindergarten in a village in the rural area close by, or it was during the pandemic. We made sure we went to a remote village with educational materials because, as you know, during the pandemic, schools in villages did not stay open, and nothing happened in terms of learning during those times for them. So it's a variety of causes, I would say, social causes that we've addressed around children, and it's investing in children. And I'm kind of proud. I think what we've succeeded in Fly High is to teach children and their parents to donate, to think of others, to understand that it's important that everybody is given a chance and is offered even a little bit of joy. And that's enough. It doesn't have to be a lot, but if it's just a little, it does contribute and changes. And I'm really proud. I think we've done amazing fundraising campaigns. We also had 2 very sick children in our community years ago. Unfortunately, they died, but we've helped the family raise money for their medical services when they needed it. And yeah, I think at one point we raised about 4,000 euros within 2 weeks, something like that. It may not seem much, but for our community, it is quite a lot. So yes, we do serve other children around Craiova.
Can you tell us something about the service that you offer as a school, and what innovation do you bring to the market?
Being in the education field, what we offer is mainly courses, right? So we offer English and German classes. We also offer preparation classes for the Cambridge English exams. And we also have an adjacent service, which are summer schools abroad in the UK, Ireland, Spain, and USA. So these are for Fly High, for Inspira. Of course, the services are the basically schooling right now for primary level students. Now, what's innovative? We have three uniques that we've identified, and one of them is that we are trusted. Parents do trust us, and you can see this in the longevity, right? And I think this is the beauty of educational businesses. If you gain the trust of your clients, they are with you for the long term. And I think this is what distinguishes us in Craiova. We are very credible in everything that we do. I think we also bring some sort of internationality. So we are connected, as I mentioned, with colleges in the UK, in Ireland. We have visitors coming from all these countries, volunteers that work with us. So we are globally connected, and people appreciate that. And I think it has also helped us to grow as an organization, being connected at this international level. And what also I would say distinguishes us is this focus on the child as a whole. I don't think we can just deliver, some sort of knowledge or help the children learn something if we don't help them discover who they are, believe in what they can do. So we have this holistic view, if you want, on the child. Although if our service is just focused on learning. And the parents have seen that, have seen the confidence in their kids grow, have seen them connect and befriend when they were quite lonely.
What channels do you use to promote your school?
It's also interesting because as a business, as a different type of business, I think the usual channels do not work for education. For education, you need to deliver high quality services, and then word of mouth is the most efficient channel. But we do, in the beginning, I remember we would just make presentations in schools or give out flyers in the city center or at the mall. And right now what we use is the website and social media mostly. From time to time we organize events. That's also another way. It's also to have publicity, but also to give back to the community. I've been organizing international conferences here with partners that we have abroad, and they came and worked either with the teachers in the public schools here, or with the parents, or with the teenagers.
How do you select teachers for the school?
This is a continuous challenge, especially for us in Craiova. It's harder here because the graduates, as we know, do not come out with the abilities that we need to see in them as employers. But over the years, I just kept in touch with the local university, and I either made presentations and invited the students to volunteer or to come on an internship. It's like that. And I think what helped us is being open to meet whoever approached us. And giving them a chance. Sometimes we have young people saying, "Oh, I want to become a teacher," but once they enter the classroom, I can tell within 5 minutes they can never be teachers, because if you don't connect authentically with the children, then that's not, really your place. So it's just being open to and inviting young people to join our classes, to come and see how we teach and see if they like what they see. And then if that happened, we started training them and preparing them.
What kind of relationship do you develop with team, and how do you help them to grow?
For the richness of the relationships with my employees, I became friends with many of them, being part of important moments of their lives. The ones that stayed, and most of them, like, we have a high retention rate. The ones that leave, they either leave Craiova or they leave the country. We've had a few that did not adhere to our culture, and that's fine. But with most of them, we have this long-term relationship. And one thing that I try to do is to help them grow, and because we develop professional contexts for them to grow, they stay for the long term. So I would say even between me and the employees, but even among themselves, beautiful friendships have grown from this place, and I'm always grateful to see that. In terms of growing, I would say I do two things, and I'm grateful to God for that, because I'm not trained. I do them intuitively. One of them is, well, maybe three things. One of them is to challenge them at the personal level. Like, I always make sure I challenge them, with various things, because I think an individual, if they don't grow at personal level, it's hard for them to grow at professional level. So I make sure and I create all kinds of contexts, some more formal, some less formal, where we come together as a team. And then we also create the professional settings in which for them to grow. And it's either having trainers come in, or experts coming to work with us, or them going to conferences, most of them international conferences. I also see the value in them, or see more things in them, and make sure we generate the projects, or we create that particular context in which I know they will flourish.
Does your team members and the parents help you to fulfill your mission?
I don't think it would be impossible to achieve anything by yourself. It's always in a community that we are able to carry our mission. And I think part of our mission is to bring light in the community. So it's always, whether with the employees or with parents, they are there. The employees, I think, have helped me by just believing in the vision that I had for the schools, and just following, and being there in the harder times, and just coming up with solutions. So they have always been part of this journey. And in the same way, the parents have been there as well. We are able to have really authentic relationships with the parents. Actually, I think we are a community, and we meet regularly for various things. And having feedback, having honest discussions with them, and that helped us rethink certain processes, or rethink the way we did certain things, and therefore, improve and keep carrying our mission forward. And our mission is this: to educate the children here in a different way, and helping them unlock their potential.
Is there any way that you try to communicate or to demonstrate the gospel in your community?
Me being a good follower of Jesus is the ideal thing. Most of the people know by now, not all the parents, but the ones that have been longest with us, they know I am a believer, and I make sure I mention God whenever great things are happening. It's very often those situations where the human solutions are not working. So some miracles happen, and I make sure they know it's God there. And one other thing that happened really in such an organic and natural way here is people found out that we are Christians and actually wanted their kids, and these are non-believers, wanted their kids to come and join the church programs, the church summer camps, the church, Easter egg hunt. So we've been quite a nice bridge between the non-believers in Craiova and our church through these educational projects. Whenever we have big community gatherings, I come up with a message, where there's Christian values in there. And I've been braver and braver in saying them out loud.
Can you tell us something about the key activities that you are doing?
I cannot get out of the door without just praying and having some quiet time and just trusting the long list, to-do list to God. So I try to make sure I'm disciplined about that. Because we have a good management system, I think I just check with the leaders, the senior managers where they need my help. I have meetings. I meet parents quite a lot, and I rarely have time nowadays to go and play with the kids, which I love. I think what takes most of my time now is just providing solutions and finding the resources for the businesses to continue. I really enjoy taking people of my team out for coffees and just having discussions outside the workplace. So I try to do that as well with my team.
Can you tell us something about your key partners?
In Fly High, we just started. We had no partners, but we grew to have partners such as the British Council in Bucharest, University of Cambridge, Brookhouse College in the UK, English Outdoors in Brooklyn. So we've developed quite an interesting network of partners. With Inspira being a private school, we have two partnerships, Christian investors that have helped me start this project right now. My church and my community has always been a key partner.
What resources do you need to run this kind of business?
Knowledge, textbooks. In education, we don't need a lot of resources. They need to be really good. Of course, we need the infrastructure, having a location. In Inspira, I would say a key resource right now is having upfront cash until the plane flies. From the beginning, in the spaces that we rented, we make sure we had a friendly, colorful, welcoming environment. So our schools are full of color and decorated walls, and also a space that's not as formal as in public school. So very often you would come in our schools and we would be sitting on the floor with the students.
How do you raise or provide capital for these businesses?
Fly High started with a very little capital. My husband lent us 2,000 or 3,000 euros back then. and then we grew from there. I think it took about 3 years to be profitable, and then it became sustainable. Now, Inspira is a different story. This is a private school. We still need a lot of infusion to help it grow. I think some fundraising would be needed. It's quite of a challenge, I have to admit, at this point. The initial design, now that I look back, I didn't think it was the right one. But then God has these things in control. So for me at this point is really essential that we started and we're slowly growing. Education businesses have a different dynamic. Classic business model does not always work for education.
When Fly High became profitable?
In 2011, it was a very innovative project in our city. Nobody was giving it a chance because we have the meditații, and they said there's no way this is going to work. So it took some time to adjust even the parents to the idea that they have to pay a monthly subscription. I would say it became profitable within 3 years. Now, Inspira, I would give it the same amount of time, 3 or 4 years.
What do you recommend to an entrepreneur that wants to start a business and needs capital?
The last couple of years, I've been focused on starting Inspira. And before starting the business, I didn't think I could come up with the solutions that I came up because of the financial constraints. And I am amazed at how creative we can be and how we can solve certain things by drawing resources from section we didn't even think of. So trying to keep the big picture type of approach, and I think the solutions are there and we can access them. Keep your faith that resources will be provided and solutions will come. I know it's too philosophical, but it is reality. And of course, what would we do without our Father who provides in His timing? So it takes a lot of patience and faith. He is co-creator with us in these businesses, right? We wouldn't be doing these businesses without Him being by our side.
What do you recommend between these two kind of approaches? To grow organically, or to find some partners, some investors to come alongside you and to help you grow faster? I
think it really depends on the type of business. I was fortunate to experience both. Of course, having the capital to start the business you dream of is the ideal. It hasn't been my case. Fly High didn't need a lot of investment at the time. Inspira did, but we didn't have it, so we came up with compromising solutions.
Thank you, Claudia. I visited your school and was very inspiring moment to see how you develop something beautiful in Craiova, and something that I think that in the future will transform the community.
I was so happy to have you there. It was one of those encouragements along the difficult way, and I'm blessed to meet people like you.